Hi, this is Carmel with the Wealth Creation Channel, the channel where we talk about all things money with the goal of building real wealth. So I know you guys must notice that I'm out today. I actually had to drop my son off for something, a meeting he had to attend to. And I figured, you know what, let me just get on here and jump in and, use this time productively to record this video I wanted to talk to you about anyway. So today's topic is, we're going to be talking about is how come we can't always do what the wealthy do. So what this is in reference to is that I came across this article today that someone posted on social media, and the person was basically using the article talking about the recession that's coming, right? And in this article, the person was the article basically stated how the ultra wealthy, we're talking about billionaires, are turning around and they're selling off some of their investments, a lot of their portfolio, and that they're hunkering down on cash and moving a lot of their money also to bonds. And so long story short, they were using that as an excuse to say, well, you see, this is a reason why we should basically be stocking up on cash and getting rid of our investments. I guess in their mind, it's to take away as much profit as you can get right now. And so I wholeheartedly disagree. Why do I say that? Because once again, keep in mind the purpose of this channel and the purpose for many individuals is that we should be wanting to build wealth. And you have to understand that the wealthy people are already wealthy. So we're trying to get like them. We're not them, but we're trying to get like them. And I understand that many people believe that you have to mimic the actions of the wealthy if you want to be wealthy, which is true and it makes total sense. But you have to understand that you have to mimic their actions as to how they got from where you were to where they are. You can't mimic just the actions of where they are right now because a lot of the things are not applicable to you in their case. So let me explain what I mean and how this relates to the article. So do you think that most of the wealthy actually got wealthy because they were hunkering down on cash and putting their money in bonds? No, ain't no way in heaven that they got wealthy from those actions. So 9 times out of 10, what they did to get wealthy was that they capitalized on opportunities. And what do I mean by that? A recession, believe it or not, is a fantastic opportunity for people who want to be wealthy. All right? It's a fantastic opportunity. Why? Because you've got many people who are turning around and selling their stocks. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest stock investors of all time, his whole motto is you buy when others are fearful and you sell when others are greedy. But most of the people tend to do the opposite. Whenever they hear people are making money from a particular investment, now everybody want to jump on the bandwagon. So they're buying whenever everybody's greedy. And then when they hear some bad news and people start selling, that's when they want to sell. And so they're selling when the people are fearful. But you have to do the opposite. Buy when others are panicking, sell when others are fearful, and sell when others are greedy. And so with that in mind, that's what the wealthy did to get rich. All of those people in this article, the billionaires, and it was on CNBC. You can look into that yourself. I'll leave a link to the article, below, on the site. But long story short, you have to make sure that you do those actions that they did, which is hold on to those investments. And in fact, during a recession, that's a perfect opportunity to go ahead and buy more companies, for discounted prices, for very cheap prices. The second thing that I want to mention why we can't do what the uber wealthy are doing is because the article refers to billionaires. There's not that many billionaires in the world. And if you look at most of them are really old. Okay, and so they even have a picture of Bill Gates as their prime example. You can't do what Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are doing. Why? Because they're older. And so you have to understand that they've already made their money. And what you have to understand is that in the stock market, if a recession does come, now, like many are fearing, then what eventually happens is that, of course, your portfolio will take a dip during that time. Well, you have to understand, older people are at the point where they don't have as much time as younger people for the market to recover. And what I mean by younger, I'm talking about maybe people 50 and under. They don't have time for the market to recover and bounce back. So let's say if there is a recession and it winds up lasting a couple of years, 5-7 years, then they may or may not have money may or may not have time to see, or enough time to see, their portfolios rebound and therefore make the profits from that. Secondly, you also want to keep in mind that the older you are, you get to a point where you start living off of your investments. And so with that in mind, if I'm at the point where I actually have to live off of my investment, then of course I'm not going to want to take a risk of the money going down short term, or over an extended period of time when I need the money right now. So once again, younger people do have that opportunity where they should have other monies coming in and they don't have to cash out on their investments right then and there. And so then therefore, once again, you have time to go ahead and, buy into a lot more stocks while they're going down. Some people are making an argument about real estate. Yes, to a certain degree, some real estate, there may be some deals in properties to get during a recession, but you have to keep in mind, I think a lot of people are going crazy. I'm seeing people post about this all the time. Wait for the recession. My broker's telling me to wait. Don't buy a home yet because wait for the recession. It's coming, and home's going to be dirt cheap. No, it's not going to. I'm telling you, it's not going to be like 2008. It's not going to be like that time. Why? The biggest thing people have to remember or understand is that what caused the recession that time was specifically the overly hot housing market. Back then, you had people getting no doc loans. You had people, with 400 credit scores getting mortgages. You had people with making $20,000-$30,000 a year, buying $400,000 or $500,000 homes. It was a recipe for disaster. All right. That's the reason why, the banks and the actions of buyers and investors, those are the reasons why things were so crazy before it wound up crashing. And then the market had to recover from that. So one thing you have to understand is those same conditions are not the way that it is. And in fact, I saw an excellent person talking about that too. Sorry for that. But he basically mentioned where the home prices have barely, decreased during the many recessions we had. The home prices haven't really taken a dip. Why? Because once again, that is not what tends to happen. People are equating what happens with the 2008 with the as the model for all recessions. No, that is not the case. But you have to understand, unfortunately, some jobs may be lost. Some people may decide, selling their homes, or, some homes may be foreclosed, or whatever may happen. Some people may really be hard up for cash and they just want to sell. You just don't, you never know. Or because of the fact that some people have to sell and, there's just not that much activity. So, on the market with people tightening up, and therefore they have to sell much lower prices than they normally would have sold before. So there are some opportunities. There will be some opportunities. I can almost guarantee you to buy, cheaper homes. But trust me, it's not going to be much, and it definitely will not be as big as it was in 2008 and a few years after, okay? So with that in mind, the whole point that I'm just trying to let you guys understand and know is that we are, as wealth builders, our goal is to become rich. And you have to take some serious looks at what it is that you're doing that's going to help you to create and build on wealth. And so, yes, remember, we have our billionaire and millionaire models that we definitely want to and should emulate, but you also have to keep in mind and do a little bit more digging. What are some of the actions that they took to get to where they got? We can't always copy exactly what they're doing now, where they're already where they are. Okay? With that said, this is Carmel with the Wealth Creation Channel. If you found this video helpful, please make sure that you like the video. Feel free to comment. I love to respond. And also feel free to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, share the video with someone that you also want to see a win. Okay? Have a nice day.